So, Ginny Rotak's final here at Karting d'Espagne, about to get underway. Green flags have waved at the end of the pre-grid, releasing the field. So let's have a look at the starting grid. Pole position, once again, will be Kai Rielats ahead of Mathis Turlo. Farin Mega rounds out the top three ahead of SP Motorsport's Nick Gerhards. Joop Breedveld in the 205 will have Enzo Bol in the 255 alongside Casper Schormans from the Netherlands in the 244 and Vic Stevens from Belgium in the 269. Round out the top four rows, and then rounding out the top 10, and it's the Netherlands' Enzo van den Dickenberg in the 252 and Bolowet from Belgium in the 296. Olivier Jonkers in the 216 and Benjamin Van Hees in the 293. Round out the top six rows ahead of Vasco Westhoven's Krit Knoren, Ronnie de Broeke, Matthias Ringgaard not showing up on the timing, so might be starting from the pre-grid. Luke Neeson in 17th, Ralph van der Pevert and Puck Gubbels complete the 19 strong. So I'm just have a quick look. Matthias Ringgaard starts. So Luke Neeson, Ralph van der Pevert and Puck Gubbels all ended up not finishing the race. But it is dependent on what happens here. So who is going to get the jump on the rest of the opposition for 13 minutes plus an additional lap? So Rielats has extended his championship lead. So effectively what that means is that Kai Rielats will be on, well, quite a big advantage here. 101 points. Mathis Turlo, if he takes another second position, he is going to be ahead of Thomas Stolzemanis in terms of the rankings, because Turlo took a 20-point score from last time out, and he is on 68 points at the moment. Bruno Maurer, so Farin Mega would have taken 16 points for finishing P3. That effectively puts him up into fourth in the standings. So the German starting to from side to side as we get ready to go racing. So it's Rielats from Turlo on the front row as everyone now starts getting into formation quickly. 13 minutes on the clock. They are being very, very patient about how they get things going. Into the tram lines, the revs start to build as we go. Lights out, do we? We have done. A good start already from Kai Rielats as Farin Mega and Nick Gerhards go side by side, but Mathis Turlo going through into turn 2 for the first time of asking. Enzo Bol keeping in close proximity to JJ Racing teammate Farin Mega, who rounds out the top 4 as they go through the left-hander at 4 for the first time. Mathis Turlo being pressurised by Nick Gerhards and Gerhards from Nick Gerhards. So Nick Gerhards will now try and start chasing down Kai Rielats. But if Kai Rielats did exactly what he did in the first race, in the pre-final, then Nick Gerhards might not have an answer. However, that is easier said than done, because they come through to complete the first lap, and Kai Rielats is doing a Sebastian Vettel at the front of the field. And the possibility of a momentum carry as Mathis Turlo up the inside of Nick Gerhards through turn number 2. The right-hand hairpin gets the job done on the 206 from the Netherlands. Farin Mega, Enzo Bol, and now Joop Breedveld close in on the 2 in front. So this is going to fast become a 5-way train for second position if things keep on developing as they are. Farin Mega had a brief look up the inside of Nick Gerhards, but thought better of it, waiting and biding his time in order to get through. So we come through to complete the second lap of asking. And Rielers is putting the hammer down. He's just doing what he normally does. He's just getting away into the distance. And no one really has an answer for the 274 from Belgium at the moment. As Farin Mega slingshots up the inside through turn one on the inside of Nick Gerhards to take back third position. So a good move from the 276 from Germany. Enzo Bol and Joip Breedveld were working as a bit of a cohesive unit. And they are just ahead of Kasper Schormans. Schormans now about 1.3 seconds behind as Nick Gerhard's looking to try and mount a counter-offensive. A few corners after the turn one overtake by Farin Mega. And Farin Mega doing a relatively good job at this particular moment. Vice champion in Rotax Max Challenge Germany behind Valentin Klus last season. And Mega was with another team last year with but ended up moving over to JJ Racing, who's found a new home, a new awning to work with, and things seem to be working very, very well indeed. But Rielers has got a 0.8 of a second advantage over Mathis Turlo. Olivier Jonkers rounds out the top 10. Enzo van den Dickenberg gets past Vic Stevens for 8th place. Ralph van der Bevert gets past Boulouet for 14th. As again, we're with this battle for P3. Nick Gerhard's up the inside of Farin Mega and retakes third position. Nice and cleanly done. So some good racing room and good racing respect from both drivers. And what you're seeing here is that Enzo Bol and Joip Breedveld are just slotting behind. They're just waiting to see what happens. Because with 9.25 minutes still to go, you don't want to start blinking first and giving telegraphing what you're going to do to the opposition. But Farin Mega gets a real good run coming up towards the back bumper of Nick Gerhard's through turn one, through turn two. He's not going to make the move there. He's looking a bit tighter on the apex. This could give him a good run going into three. And he gets a bit tighter there. Gerhards manages to pull the car across or a move, and Enzo Bol right on the back of his teammate from JJ Racing as all. That was nearly a bit too much curb there for Nick Gerhards, but he steers the ship correctly in the correct direction. And on that particular occasion, he was a very, very lucky young man, was Nick Gerhards, but Farin Mega will look to push and try and make good his intentions. Not telegraph them, though, to Nick Gerhards, that's for sure, as Farin Mega was 54 thousandths behind, as there is a little bit of a battle a bit further adrift. This will be one of the CRG entries there. And that particular kart is that looks to be the 293, is it, I think? That is Benjamin Van Hees. So you've got Vic Stevens and Olivier Jonkers just in front, with Enzo van den Dickenberg in the Sodi kart chassis just behind. So a good little battle emerging here. We're now 7.5 minutes to go, plus an additional lap. It's very fast, it's very flowing, it's very challenging here at Mariembourg. I got an idea of that when I commentated the circuit 2 years ago. As there is a look over the right-hand shoulder by Olivier Jonkers, who is now very much intrinsically part of the awning at Dams Racing, formerly with GKS Lemons Power before he made the switch. As we're fast approaching 7 minutes to go. Kai Rielers, in the meantime, at the front of the field, when we don't really talk about the leader that much, he or she is doing a pretty good job. Well, that is the case here. And he's got a gap of just over 1.35 seconds over Mathis Turlo. Farin Mega has now gotten back ahead of Nick Gerhards in the meantime for P3. He's going to try and close in on Mathis Turlo. There's a gap of about 1.1 seconds between second and third. Still this battle here between Vic Stevens, Benjamin Van Hees and Enzo van den Dickenberg. Luke Neeson a bit further behind. Rooney de Broeke has got past Ralph van der Bevert for what is 13th on the road. Matthias Vingard and Puck Gulls ahead of Vasco Westholvens, who rounds out the 19 strong, all still circulating And this is now a real intense battle because Joip Liedveld has got past Nick Gerhards, and Nick Gerhards has got a teammate behind him, Casper Schormans of all people, in 7th position. The 244 from the Netherlands, just 11 years of age, and he's made an early move into juniors, but he's already been thriving under the pressure, the close competitiveness, and Casper Schormans has always been rather impressive in terms of pace, but now he gets a real chance to showcase that, and especially with a lot of good comrades underneath the awning at SP Motorsport for Schormans to soak up that knowledge and really get going. He's already showcased that earlier on this season. He has had his fair share of trials and tribulations. Now this is the battle for what is 4th to effectively 7th position, because Farin Mega has started to pull away from Enzo Boll, and that is now to the tune of about 0.83 of a second. Joip Liedveld, Nick Gerhards and Casper Schormans last time around, they were covered by less than 9/10 of a second. We're into the last 4 3/4 minutes of this race. It still pretty much has been even Stevens, so these drivers are continuing on. And one of the main things is that these they are still pushing. And one driver that is still pushing is the one that is leading the way, Kai Gielets from Belgium, the reigning and defending Euro Trophy champion, finished 3rd last year in this class. Lucas Schormakers was declared the champion at the end of the season, with Tim Gerhards, I think, ending up 2nd and Gielets ending up 3rd at the end of it all, but still, he got the Euro Trophy crown to his credit at the end of the season, and he's just focusing on the job at hand. 1.9 seconds ahead last time around. He's done a 56.1 as Kai Gielets, so he's absolutely lighting up the timesheets purple. And you can just see how composed he is. He knows exactly what he's doing. He is controlling proceedings. We're not going to have a Kimi Raikkonen moment, I'm afraid. It's no, leave me alone, I know what I'm doing, like we had when Kimi Raikkonen was at Lotus, and then at Brazil he found the wrong part of the Autodromo José Carlos Pachi one particular year in Lotus colours, and everyone went, oh, you know what you're doing, Kimi. Well, the thing is that Gielets now has a 2.1 second lead. He is just comfortably and consistently extending that advantage. He doesn't need to do fastest laps after fastest laps. Well, he's in clean air, so of course he's going to do that if he's leading. He's going to have no dirty air to worry about in front of him. Matthias Turlo is about 9/10 of a second ahead of Farin Mega, and those two round out the top 2 positions. Bit of a tightening battle here. It looks like Nick Gerhards has dropped Casper Schormans. Last time around it was nearly to the tune of about 6/10 of a second. It could be a little bit more than that probably on this time around, as they come across the line very shortly, as we've got 2.5 minutes to go plus an additional lap. Gielets still leading the way. So this is going to be rather interesting towards the end phase of the race. It is about who is going to capitalise, who is going to push, who is going to go for it, because we always know that there are always going to be elbows out. Now, the wind has picked up a little bit more. The humidity has increased. It's a southwesterly wind here in Mariembourg. So 15 kilometres an hour. And effectively that's over 10 miles an hour as things stand in so it's about just under 9.5 miles an hour. South. Still ahead, and that is nearly 2.5 seconds to the good for him. ahead of Matthias Turlo. So Turlo doing a very, very solid job. And keeping himself in contention, because this now means that there will be a change in the championship standings, and this effectively means that Gilles will have a big lead. Effectively 126 points will be his that will be his championship total coming into tomorrow. And then Matthias Turlo is already on 68. He gets another 20, that puts him on 88. And Farin Mega, that's a pretty good haul for him as well. And that will put him on 64 points. So that will change. So that will put Gilles into first, Turlo into second, ahead of Stolz Romanis. And then all of a sudden, you've then got one young German in the form of Farin Mega, rounding out the top four in the standings, because effectively what Farin Mega needs is a very solid finish. As always, it's getting a bit fisty-cufty here, and that is the 280. Just trying to keep my eyes on that. Looks to be the 283 there. Well, 293 of Benjamin Van Hees, and he's battling away with the likes of Luke Neeson, amongst others, and Ralf van der Pevert. Final lap board is out, so Kai Gilles is not that far away from completing the final lap, as there's a bit of a dive up the inside. Oh my goodness me, that was close through turn one. Oh, well. Benjamin Van Hees, I think, was wondering what on earth was going on behind. Then all of a sudden, Luke Neeson decided to stick his oar in, going through into turn one, and nearly made it through up the inside. Ralf van der Pevert and Enzo van den Dinkenberg still there, running out the top 13. However, Kai Gilles is on course. Now, he didn't take a victory at Genk, but he's now got two, to his credit, here at Mariembourg. And the 274 from JJ Racing does the double here on the the first day of the second round of the season. And Matthias Turlo now takes second in the championship standings, 3 seconds ahead behind Gilles. Another solid position, a third place finish for Farin Mega in P3, which effectively now puts him fourth in the standings, and he just has to get a few more points. 11, well, he needs to get 12 in order to get past Thomas Solsamanis. So Enzo Bol rounds out the top four. Nick Gerhardt, I'm sure that he'll still be in some respects happy with the fifth place finish, but disappointed that he wasn't in the top three. Let's have a look at the results after that one. So Gilles takes the victory. So the JJ Racing driver, the 274, takes the win by 3 seconds and does the double here today at Mariembourg for day one of round two. Matthias Turlo in second, ahead of Farin Mega. Enzo Bol rounds out. That's 3 JJ Racing karts in the top 4, so congratulations to them. SB Motorsport would have a little bit of success, courtesy of Nick Gerhardt in 5th and Casper Schomans in 7th, with Jord Briefeld being piggy in the middle in 6th. Olivier Jonkers, Vic Stevens, Benjamin Van Hees, Luke Neeson, Ralf van der Pevert, Enzo van den Dickenberg, Rudy de Broeke, Boluet, Krik Noren, Matthias Ringgaard, Vasco Westhovens and Puck Govels. They all made it to the checkered flag after 15 laps of racing.